Hello guys, welcome. This is Encisso Art Academy, the Art Academy for those who have the insatiable need to express themselves through drawing. My name is Alexander. Okay guys, today we are going to see an overview of the Encisso method to create realistic portrait. During this course, we are going to learn how to create a portrait from a reference photo. Okay, I'm going to work with this portrait of Emil Clark. I love this character. If you are a fan of Game of Thrones, this is the Mother of Dragon. So I love Game of Thrones. So I'm going to work with the milk from this course. Okay, guys. So in this method, we got several steps. Okay, so let's talk for each step more in detail. Okay. So the first step that we are going to learn is the constructive line. The constructive line are lines that allow us to have a better understanding of our character. Okay, so in the constructive lines we got three steps. Okay, so the first step is the lines that give us the perspective. Okay. So in the first chapter, we are going to learn how to create the perspective line. Then we are going to learn how to create our own facial recognition mask. Each person is different, so other methods use standard proportion to measure the different part of the face. But the problem is that very few people match the standard proportion. So each people is unique, each face is unique. So in this course, we are going to learn how to create a facial recognition mask. This is the method that a software of facial recognition use to identify faces. Okay, so in this chapter, we are going to learn how to create the facial recognition mask. Okay. This is the simplified anatomy. If we could understand the structure beneath the skin, that knowledge will allow us to create better and realistic portraits. So in this case, we are going to learn a little of the most important structure beneath the skin, the bone structure, the muscle structure, the fat of the face. So this is a simplified version of all this structure. Okay. Once we learn how to create the constructive lines, we are going to use these lines to create the lines of our character. Okay. In these lines, we got a different step. In the first step, we are going to learn how to create the contour lines. Okay. This will allow us to create the boundaries of our portrait. Then we are going to learn how to create the shape lines and help us to look for the different planes of the character. Remember that we are trying to create the illusion of three-dimensionality in our 2D object. So in order to achieve that, we are going to learn how to think in 3D. Okay, so in this step, we are going to learn how to create the shape lines that will allow us to visualize our portrait in 3D. Okay, then we are going to learn how to create the volumes lines. The volume lines will help us in the shading process, because if we could visualize in our mind how this structure look in 3D, we could look how the light interact with this different surface. Okay. Once we cover the line, we are going to learn how to cover the shading. In the shading, we got different steps. Okay. So the first step is the deep shadows, is the darkest places in our portrait. Then we got the core shadows. When we have a curved surface, the light hit in different ways. So the core shadows are the places of transition between the areas of light and the areas of shadows. Okay. Then we got the middle tones. The middle tones are these areas in the planes of light that are in between the core shadows and the highlights. Then we have the highlights. This is the place in our portrait when the light hit more directly. Okay. Then we got the reflected lines. Usually, if we take our reference photo in a room, and we have only one source of light, this light reflect in the different material that are around our object, and once they reflect, they hit our character in different places. For example, you could see in this place how the lights that's coming this direction bounce in some kind of object and hit this part. Okay, so in this step we are going to learn how to identify the reflected lines. Once we have the shading of our object, we could start to see the three-dimensionality of the character. Then we are going to learn how to create texture, to the hair, how to give the illusion. Remember that we are creating an illusion, okay? So in this step, we are going to learn how to create the different textures of the clothes, the hands, the face, and the hair, okay? Finally, we are going to learn how to correct the tones, how to change the values of different parts of our object that help us to guide the viewer to the areas that is most interesting to us. Okay, guys, so for summarize, we got the first step is constructive line, the second step is the line, then we are going to learn the shading, the texture, and finally we are going to learn how to correct the tone. And the last step of all this process is the background. We are going to learn how to integrate the background to our picture. And this is the final result that we are going to get in our project. Okay, once we learn the Encisso method to create realistic portrait, we have a drawing challenge. This is a 4-week drawing challenge. The idea is to draw one portrait per day. Each day of the week we are going to work with different characters. The first week we are going to work with colored person, then with Asian. The third week we are going to work with white people, and finally with Latin people. And we are going to start the first day of the week with the female character, then a male character. Wednesday we are going to work with a little boy, and then with a little girl. Fridays we are going to work with an elderly person, and on the weekends we are going to add a little more complexity and narrative to the reference photos. Okay, guys, I hope you are ready to start. Remember that you got your 30 days money back guarantee, and you could post your picture with the hashtag Encisso challenge, so you could see all the picture of the community and you could receive feedback of other artists. Okay, guys, I hope you're ready to start. I see you in the first chapter. God bless you. Bye.